Mediana Edmonds beaten to death at age 6.
300 bruises.
Kelly's life ended when she was 12 years old.
He was 6 months old, just half a year into life.
Dragged out from a school dance by his father, he was taken home and beaten to death.
The court has heard he punched Tamati repeatedly in the stomach, while the child was bent over backwards and held over the arm of a chair.
Little James Whakaruru.
New Zealand has the highest rate of child homicide in the OECD. It's a national shame that we have failed our children, and it's time to do something about it. The Family Help Trust already have a solution. They have been targeting individuals most at risk of maltreating their children to break the cycle of abuse.
Family Help Trust. They call themselves the ambulance at the top of the cliff. They can only afford 6 social workers, but they have dozens of success stories.
You may have passed Carla on a street, a bottle in her hand, pregnant at 15, in rehab at 19. Just a year ago, Carla was living in a boozy 4-bedroom house with 9 other people.
It would be hard for some people to imagine the kinds of challenges that these women face. So we're talking about serious mental health issues, serious sexual abuse experienced in childhood.
Usually had lost a child, a previous child to child youth and family. I guess you could call them the 2 hard basket clients. They're very, very highly complex clients.
I think that most families who've had a lot of dysfunction as they've been growing up are really aware of it, especially when they have their own children, but they're not quite sure how to change that.
We run a bicultural service, and so we recruit Māori social workers who themselves relate to the kinds of cultural backgrounds that our clients have experienced.
As well as being qualified social workers with very thorough training, they've been there and done that, and so clients really can't have them on.
A lot of the work that we do is building up mum's confidence so she can confidently parent the child.
We identify them antenatally. We then provide an intensive long-term service that can last up until that target child enters the school system.
It's really nice seeing the children grow up and to be able to know that the immunisations are up to date, and helping them to enrol in preschool and getting dental checks done. And
we've reduced mothers hitting their children, we've reduced family violence, and we've also reduced drug dependence. In particular, we've actually reduced the numbers of mothers on a methadone program, which obviously means that they've been off drugs altogether.
I do not want my daughters to go through what some of the things I went through.
And just look at her now.
The Family Help Trust have achieved enormous success, and they continue to save the lives of New Zealand's most vulnerable children. But sadly, the story doesn't finish here.
Of the 150 babies that meet our ultra-high-risk criteria, we're only able to actually take 30 to 40 a year.
Our funding is always a challenge. We rely on the philanthropic sector. And in a way we see that as really important, because that's also about the community taking some responsibility for this.
The cost of providing an early intervention to a high-risk infant costs of $5,000. Failing to do that, allowing that child to actually grow up and go through all the sorts of traumas that will happen to it, means that you're going to end up by actually paying $80,000 or $90,000 on a prison cell down the road. So really, this is a no-brainer. You know, where do you want your tax money to go?
There is hope that you can move forward, that change is possible, and you can do that in tiny bite-sized steps.
Our clients clearly can't contribute, so we have to actually do our own fundraising. We have a significant amount of government funding, but clearly it's not enough. And if we're not able to make up the difference, then it's only a question of time before it's all over and we can no longer provide such a service.
Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes with my own kids. I've learnt so much. Time out.
Whereas it would have been?
Obviously a smack. Getting down to her level, talking with her, listening to her, reading to her. Yeah, it's a completely different ball game.
Where I've got to today from what I was like 2 years ago, I'm proud of myself.
The Family Help Trust need your assistance. They're breaking the cycle of abuse for New Zealand children. Why not be part of it and donate today?